Most people believe small apartments become messy because there is not enough space, but the real problem is something much simpler and far more dangerous. Clutter does not appear overnight. It quietly grows through tiny daily actions that nobody notices until the apartment suddenly feels stressful, crowded, and impossible to manage. A jacket dropped on a chair, unopened packages left near the door, dishes sitting in the sink for hours, and random objects placed just for now slowly create visual chaos that drains mental energy every single day. Research from Princeton University discovered that visual clutter competes for attention and reduces the brain's ability to focus properly, which explains why many people living in small spaces often feel mentally exhausted without understanding the real reason. The good news is that organization is not about buying expensive storage containers or spending entire weekends cleaning. Truly organized people rely on a set of simple daily habits that quietly prevent clutter from taking control in the first place. One of the most powerful habits is something professional organizers call the nightly reset. Before going to sleep, spending just 10 minutes returning items to their proper places completely changes how an apartment feels the next morning. Waking up to a clean kitchen counter, a folded blanket, and an empty coffee table creates instant calm and makes the entire home appear larger. Another important habit is following the one-touch rule. Instead of placing items down temporarily, organized people deal with them immediately. Shoes go directly to the rack, mail gets sorted instantly, and bags return to their storage spot the moment someone walks through the door. This habit prevents clutter from multiplying invisibly throughout the week. Studies on habit formation from researchers at University College London showed that repeated small routines eventually become automatic behaviors, meaning organization becomes easier over time instead of feeling like constant hard work. Another surprisingly effective routine is cleaning during transitions instead of waiting for dedicated cleaning time. For example, wiping the bathroom sink after brushing teeth or washing dishes while cooking dinner prevents mess from accumulating into overwhelming tasks later. Small apartment living becomes stressful when clutter steals valuable surfaces, so organized people protect countertops, tables, and beds from becoming dumping zones. They understand that visible empty space creates psychological relief and improves relaxation at home. Even a tiny apartment can feel peaceful when every object has a purpose and a place. Another daily habit involves controlling incoming items before they enter the apartment. Many people carefully organize their homes while continuously bringing in unnecessary products, decorations, and impulse purchases that slowly suffocate their living space. Organized individuals pause before buying anything new and ask themselves one important question: where will this item live permanently? If there is no clear answer, they usually avoid bringing it home. This simple mindset protects small apartments from silent overcrowding. But there is another habit, one that many people completely ignore, and it may actually be the secret difference between apartments that stay clean for years and apartments that constantly fall back into chaos. The habit that quietly transforms small apartments more than almost anything else is maintaining what experts often describe as movement flow. Most cluttered apartments are not actually filled with too many things. They are filled with interrupted movement. Chairs become clothing storage. Kitchen counters turn into paperwork stations, and entryways slowly collect random objects that block smooth daily living. Over time, these interruptions create invisible stress because the brain constantly notices obstacles even when people stop consciously paying attention to them. Researchers from UCLA's Center on Everyday Lives of Families observed that cluttered home environments often increase stress hormones, especially when living spaces lose their natural function and flow. Organized people protect movement pathways carefully because they understand that smooth spaces create calm minds. They never allow floors to become temporary storage zones, and they regularly return misplaced objects before the apartment begins feeling crowded. One daily habit that supports this is the 5-minute rescue routine. Instead of waiting for weekends to clean everything at once, organized apartment ERS spend 5 focus minutes correcting problem areas before clutter spreads. They straighten cushions, fold blankets, clear dining tables, and remove random items from visible surfaces. This tiny investment prevents mess from becoming emotionally overwhelming later. Another powerful habit is respecting vertical space wisely rather than aggressively. Many people overcrowd walls with shelves, hooks, and hanging storage until the apartment feels visually heavy and smaller than before. Organized people choose only essential vertical storage and keep it visually balanced. They understand that organization should create breathing room, not simply hide more possessions inside complicated systems. Lighting also plays a hidden role in organization habits. Bright, clean spaces naturally encourage tidiness because mess becomes immediately noticeable. Dim and poorly maintained apartments often invite neglect because clutter blends into the background. This is why many highly organized people open curtains every morning as part of their routine. Natural light creates psychological freshness and encourages better maintenance throughout the day. Another habit involves controlling digital distractions. Action during home routines. Many apartments become messy not because cleaning takes too long, but because people become interrupted while doing simple tasks. Someone starts folding laundry, checks their phone for a moment, and suddenly the unfinished pile remains on the sofa for hours. Organized individuals often complete quick home tasks immediately, before allowing distractions to take over their attention. Research on attention behavior repeatedly shows that task interruption reduces completion rates and increases mental fatigue. There is also a habit connected directly to emotional attachment. Organized people regularly practice quiet detachment from unnecessary items. They do not treat every object as emotionally untouchable. Instead, they recognize that small apartments require intentional ownership. If something no longer serves a useful purpose, adds beauty, or improves daily life, it quietly leaves the space. This habit prevents storage areas from becoming emotional graveyards, filled with forgotten purchases and unused belongings. But perhaps the most surprising habit is something many people overlook entirely. Truly organized people do not rely on motivation. They rely on identity. They stop seeing organization as a temporary project and begin seeing themselves as someone who protects peace, clarity, and order every single day. Once that mental shift happens, small actions stop feeling like chores and start becoming automatic parts of everyday life. And this final habit may be the one that changes everything permanently. The final habit that permanently separates organized apartments from constantly cluttered ones is creating a daily environment reset that supports future decisions instead of sabotaging them. Most people clean only after the apartment already feels stressful, but organized individuals prepare their space in advance so tomorrow becomes easier automatically. Before sleeping, they refill water bottles, clear countertops, organize charging cables, prepare clothes for the next day, and place important items where they will be needed later. These tiny actions remove friction from daily life and dramatically reduce the chance of chaos returning. Behavioral researchers often explain that human beings naturally follow the path of least resistance, which means messy environments quietly encourage more mess, while organized environments encourage better habits. This is why one clean surface often inspires people to maintain the entire room, while one clutter pile can slowly spread across the apartment within days. Another essential daily habit involves respecting boundaries inside small spaces. In many apartments, one area gradually starts serving 5 different purposes at once. Beds become offices, dining tables become storage desks, and sofas become laundry stations. Organized people intentionally protect the purpose of each zone because multifunctional chaos quickly creates emotional exhaustion. Even in a studio apartment, creating clear boundaries between sleeping, eating, relaxing, and working helps the brain feel more balanced and peaceful. Studies in environmental psychology have shown that organized spaces improve mood, reduce anxiety, and increase productivity because the brain experiences less visual overload throughout the day. Another surprisingly effective habit is limiting temporary items. Temporary clutter is one of the biggest reasons apartments slowly lose control. Shopping bags sit near doors for days, unfolded laundry remains on chairs, and random objects wait to be dealt with later. Organized individuals understand that later often becomes never, so they complete small tasks immediately whenever possible. They also build realistic systems instead of perfect fantasy systems. For example, if shoes naturally collect near the entrance, they place an attractive shoe rack there. Instead of forcing themselves into an unrealistic routine, they will never follow consistently. This creates sustainable organization instead of temporary bursts of cleaning motivation. Another daily habit is regular visual scanning. Organized people naturally notice disorder early because they train themselves to observe their environment intentionally. They quickly correct small problems before they become large ones. A single misplaced item gets returned immediately, preventing 10 more items from gathering around it later. This habit keeps apartments consistently manageable instead of requiring exhausting deep cleaning sessions. Perhaps most importantly, organized individuals understand that a clean apartment is not about impressing guests or achieving picture-perfect perfection. It is about protecting peace of mind, saving time, reducing stress, and creating a home that supports a happier lifestyle. Small apartments can feel incredibly calm beautiful, and functional when daily habits quietly work together behind the scenes. Organization is never created by one massive cleaning day. It is created by small repeated actions that slowly shape the atmosphere of a home over time. And once these habits become part of everyday life, maintaining a cleaner apartment stops feeling difficult altogether. If you are benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notifications so you can see our new videos early.